After the persecution began, Jiang Zemin tried to extradite Falun Gong's founder to China, even by offering a reduction of $500 million in trade surplus, but failed. Next, Zheng Hong secretly issued an assassination order to the network of Chinese agents. The Ministry of State Security and the General Staff Department of the PLA jointly set up a special task force, which was specifically in charge of learning the whereabouts of Falun Gong's founder, Master Li Hongji, as well as recruiting and training killers, to prepare for the assassination of Master Li. In December 2000, Jiang learned that Mr. Li was going to Taiwan to speak before his students. In light of that, Zheng Hong dispatched personnel to Taiwan, to secretly make contact with local criminal underworld organizations. Zheng planned assassination by offering several $1 million to assassins in Taiwan. Since Falun Gong's founder knew about their intentions, at the last minutes he announced the cancellation of his visit to Taiwan. As a result, Jiang spent the money in vain and outraged. Jiang was frustrated and went even further by issuing military orders to the task force, demanding Falun Gong founder be killed at all cost, including at the expense of human lives. Jiang approved the expenditure of $500,000 to recruit women to form a suicide team, following the example of the Liberation Tiger of Tamil in Sri Lanka. The women were trained as human bombs, and were prepared to be dispatched to America. When Falun Gong's founder attended the experience-sharing conferences, they would pretend to be Falun Gong practitioners, approach the founder, and attempt to detonate the bombs on their bodies. In 2001, Jiang obtained a confidential report stating that Falun Gong practitioners would hold a conference on January 13 and 14 in Hong Kong, and Falun Gong's founder would come to make a speech on the 14th. Jiang immediately issued a secret order, to seize the opportunity at all cost for assassination in the territory under his own control. Right away, the PLA General Staff Department, the Ministry of State Security and the Public Security Bureau coordinated to create an assassination plan, codenamed 114. Nearly all the underworld organizations in Hong Kong and Macau were involved in the plan under the CCP coercion and allurement. But, on January 14, Falun Gong's founder did not show up. The spies became restless with anxiety. Finally, when the conference was close to its end, the organizer of the conference read a greeting, transmitted from America by Falun Gong's founder to the conference's audience. The assassination plan had once again failed. Only then did Jiang and Zheng realize that Falun Gong's founder knew very well about their assassination plot. With repeated failures of assassination attempts, Jiang grew more and more fearful. His task force furthermore fell apart, and its members kept meeting with inexplicable accidents. Assassination attempts ended without any result. Ever since the Falun Gong experience-sharing conference in Los Angeles in 2000, Mr. Li has taken part in nearly all large-scale activities in America, and has often spent a lot of time answering questions for his students. Since the start of Jiang's persecution of Falun Gong followers around the world have been subjected to frequent harassments and threats by CCP spies. Two of the CCP's former officials, Chen Yongling and Hao Fengjin, chose to leave the dark past behind and seek refuge in Australia. They exposed all kinds of scandalous inside stories about CCP's persecution of Falun Gong. They advised all the CCP's spies overseas, surrender himself or herself, otherwise, they would submit the spy list in their possession, to the local governments. Chen Yonglin and Hao Fengjin stated that China has a formidable spy network operating overseas. There are over 1,000 CCP spies in Australia and Canada, respectively. They exposed the CCP's dirty deeds against Falun Gong overseas, utilizing all kinds of spy strategies and technology. The evidence confirmed China's extension of state terrorism from domestic to overseas. Every time when Jiang Zemin took a tour overseas, the Chinese consulate would pay the local Chinese to join the carefully engineered cheering crowd, to block the demonstrating Falun Gong practitioners and their banners. When visiting Germany in 2004, Jiang was so afraid the sight of yellow and blue clothing, trademark colors of the demonstrating Falun Gong practitioners, that he made a request to the German police, that the two colors be kept out of his sight. He was so suspicious and fearful, that he asked the police to weld the sewer lids shut, along the route his convoy was to travel. Jiang didn't dare to enter or leave his hotel through the front entrance. Instead, he used the garbage exit. He frequently changed his schedule and routes, causing frustration and drawing complaints from his hosts. Jiang Zemin had overseas Falun Gong practitioners' name list collected, and requested his host countries to bar these Falun Gong practitioners from entering the countries. Before he arrived in Iceland, Jiang pressed the Icelandic government to do so. The move triggered a dramatic protest against Jiang by thousands of local residents. On the day of Jiang's arrival, Iceland's largest newspaper ran a 4-page ad, offering an apology to Falun Gong practitioners by 450 people including parliamentarians, making quite a stir in Iceland. Its title, in 3 large Chinese characters, says sorry. The subtitle in Icelandic that reads, An apology to Falun Gong practitioners. The statement reads, the Icelandic government made an erroneous decision by yielding to the dictator, Jiang Zemin, and barring Falun Gong practitioners from entering the island for peaceful protests. The Icelandic people feel ashamed of that decision, and express their apology to all Falun Gong practitioners. Another phenomenon that followed Jiang as he traveled, be it to Germany, Iceland, or the United States, was cold winds and dark clouds. During his stay in Iceland, Jiang visited a world-famous fountain near the capital. The moment Jiang arrived, half the water columns springing from the fountain became black with filth and dirt, while the sky corresponding to the other half was covered with dark clouds. One local resident exclaimed, "I have never seen such black water coming out of that fountain."